everybody, today I want to show off one of the most mysterious metal albums of all times. And it's funny that the band is called Mystery. Those who follow me on Facebook or my blog Neudi's Rock and Metal blog have noticed that I was posting the cover of that album pretty often with some information that I had that are on this album on the backside, which is really not too much. Produced by Mystery, that starts really great. Recorded and mixed by Mystery at Mystery Studio. Great. And then mastered at Studio Nord Bremen. Okay, this is true. I have read that many times before. So the band, there's no real names. That's a guy called Gerald L. Gerald L. or Gerald, but in German it's Gerald. I'm pretty sure it's a German band. Gerald L. Vocals and occasional guitars. So if he finds a guitar somewhere, he grabs it. Then we have the Lion. The Lion. And he's the opposite of Gerald. He is playing guitars, but occasional vocals. So he's walking around, and when he is inside the shower, he starts singing. Occasionally. Okay. Yeah, and then we have a guy playing bass and keyboards, and a guy called Mike Batista. And I really thought I heard that name before. I tried everywhere, but in the end the result was nothing. Plays bass. So all in all, it makes no sense what we read here too. So this all reminded me a little bit of that label that did Original Sin and Pile Driver and all that stuff. When was heavy metal was a big thing, especially then back in the 80s. So it made sense to form a band that was not existing, just to have a product that sells with a cover. And this cover is not too bad. Maybe it looks more like a progressive rock album, I would say. But there are many metal-exploitation albums that are cult these days. I just think about Excorcist. So it is possible that this company called TRC at least tried to have something special. Or it was the image of the band, like in early Mekong Delta, when nobody knew who is inside in that band. And of course it was because of some of the members had contracts with other record companies, so it was not possible to just say the real name in some cases of Mekong Delta. Maybe it's same here, but But I was close. Because TRC, they didn't make a lot of albums. And I know from a band called Poison Asp, you know that I have reissued their EP along with a lot of unreleased and compilation tracks on Golden Core in early 2020. And these guys had a deal with this company. This EP called Beyond the Walls of Sleep should have been released on this label TRC. And they even had a good distribution with Aris, which is from Ariola, the import service, and let's say more alternative, or not the really big names. They are of course on Ariola, or today it's B&G, but back then it was Aris. It was not a bad distributor at all. So everything is perfect here. So then we have our order number for the vinyl and for a cassette here. And that's it. That's it all. There's not much more to see. The album looks like that. This reminds a little of the other of the few albums that they have released before they went bankrupt, because that's what Poison Asp were telling me. They had a deal. They were in the studio to record Beyond the Walls of Sleep at Zuckerfabrik Studio in Stuttgart. And while they were recording, this company went bankrupt, or the owner went away with the money, something like that. So they had to release it by themselves, and this is why it's so expensive these days. I still have 4 or 5 original copies, so mainly if you want, but not, I won't sell it under 30 euros or so. So yeah, but back to this one here. So I was close. I was asking the drummer, do you remember a band called Mystery? But yeah, they were just at the office once to sign this deal, and that's it. So he couldn't help me. Then there were some people on Facebook thinking it is a band from Belgium. No, it ain't. Then some thought it is a band from a singer called similar to Jeff Scott Soto, but without the Scott. I think Jeff Soto. Another guy with the name Soto, but here in Germany. He also had a band called Mystery. No, it was not him. Then some years back, I even thought, God damn, sometimes this singer here, Gerald, he sounds a little bit like Nicky Moore on the Samson albums. Before the Storm and Don't Get Mad, Get Even. Silently, terror's powers raging violently. Space gliders in the sky. But then there are moments where it should have been clear to me that it's not him. But I asked him, and no, it was not me. Never heard of these guys. So even I'm in the scene, and I know people that were at least a little in the near this production. I have no idea to this day who is responsible for this album. Yeah, I have no clue what to do. I don't care too much because I have it. I paid private money for a good vinyl transfer for myself, so I have my own little CD of that. And even if I would get the rights to do a reissue on Golden Core 6 music, I don't think I would do it. I would maybe put a song on a compilation album, because this music is kind of extreme. It sounds a little bit like people who are not from the heavy metal scene at all, musicians that are not from the heavy metal scene at all, trying to play heavy metal. And this is what makes this album sounding so unique, with strong vocals. So it's like, okay, let's listen a week to heavy metal and then write an album or so. It could be something like that. And I love these songs. There's one thing I have, and this album is weird in another way, because there always were 2 albums where I'm not sure if it's real drum or a drum computer. One was cleared last week when I read it on Wikipedia. Unbelievable. It was a band called Calhoun Conquer on ARC Records from the Switzerland. I was not sure if it's a drum computer or just a very precise drummer. So it's drum computer. And this is the only album left where I have no clue. There are some, I think it could be both even, that there are a few songs where the drummer is not playing a snare drum at all. It's just toms. Totally unique. Usually you wouldn't do that as a drummer, and at least the whole song. He does it. I think it's on Forces of Evil is the song where he does that. But on the other hand, if this is not a metal guy, he could think it sounds like double bass stuff when he's doing that. So the sound is pretty real, but the drumming is so untypical for heavy metal. Like the guitar sound and even this sometimes even bluesy vocals. But the music is heavy as shit here and there. It's some speed metal there, and my favorite song is Sorceress of the Universe. This is nearly epic doom, but with not the way you think now, Manowar or something, or Manila Road. it's in their very own way. It's really hard to talk about this album, and if you heard it and you say, oh, that's horrible. I totally understand that you don't like this album. I would never criticize anybody who hates this album even. But I love it, and I love it since I got it. And this is, I totally forgot this, then I will stop here with this video. I got it for free in a parcel from these guys, TRC. I have no clue. I had my TV show back in the 80s, and I did these live record reviews. Hey, this is mystery and it's great, and boop, then I threw away the albums. People loved that, so I went on doing that. Even some of my albums look like it now.
Es war unmöglich klaut von anderen Bands, die es aber in einer Art und Weise macht, wenn man sich nicht so arg drüber aufregt, kann man diese ganze Sache gut finden.
Yeah, but so for some reason they had my address and everything. The other thing, album was Helpless, a Spanish band. It should have been a Spanish band, but I'm not too sure if these guys have really existed too. So I have no clue. It will remain a mystery. So before you comment now with there's a band from Belgium. No, this is a band with a German singer called Soto, or like Jeff Scott Soto, but I think it's another name. It's just Soto also. No. Yeah, and there were even some other mystery around. These guys just made this album, and we can't be sure if it's really a band, but it would be too cool after all these years to hear someone saying, oh yeah, it was me playing on that album. Just for, yeah, finally finding out what is about this cool record that I love, that you might hate, but yeah, it's cool. Thank you for watching, and when you know something, comment. Yes, 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 yes.